Good evening and thank you for joining us. A highly emotional murder trial continued today at the Thunder Bay Courthouse for a woman accused of killing her 11-year-old son.
And a warning to viewers, some of the details in this story are disturbing. 37-year-old Courtney LaBelle is pleading not guilty to second-degree murder and aggravated assault. The court previously heard she stabbed her son 31 times before her father ran in and tackled her to the floor. Today in court, the jury heard the frantic 911 call from the Victoria Avenue home on the morning of New Year's Day 2020. LaBelle's stepmother can be heard saying she stabbed him and that LaBelle was going crazy and going bonkers. Defense lawyer Gil Labin later suggested his client was experiencing drug-induced psychosis that morning. The court also heard from an arresting officer who says LaBelle said, "Kill me," and tried to choke herself with her handcuffs. And the jury watched surveillance video from the city police lockup where LaBelle is seen being held up by two officers refusing to stand, screaming and flailing her arms and legs. The trial is expected to last 3 weeks. The full details can be found on tvnewswatch.com.
For the first time in more than a year, there will be no wait list for a wide range of addiction and mental health services provided by Thunder Bay Counseling. The organization has made significant changes to its staffing model, training, and a range of services to achieve the milestone. The Counseling Center has been focusing on reducing wait times for addiction and mental health services since the onset of the pandemic. Director Sherry Fata says people should not have to wait for these crucial services.
When people have to wait, it impacts their health and well-being, it impacts their safety, impacts their families, their workplaces, the community as a whole. So faster access means better individual and community wellness, and it also reduces strains on emergency services and hospitals. So individuals are more healthy, as is our community as a whole.
Thunder Bay Counseling offers a variety of programs and services at no cost, including alcohol and drug assessment, specialized counseling, and pre-treatment stabilization.
Central Canada's largest natural resource sector trade show and conference has finally made its way to Thunder Bay. The CLE grounds is buzzing with activity with big crowds and over 300 displays. Mitchell Ringos was checking out everything the CenCan Expo has to offer and brings us this report.
After being forced to hold online exhibitions the past 2 years, everyone here at the CenCan Expo was excited to be back in person to check out a huge variety of activities like the trade shows for companies to show their products and demos, a massive job fair, conferences, a gala dinner, and the first ever jackleg drilling competition giving miners a chance to show their skills and win not only a handmade trophy but also a cash prize. Manrock Development's president, Chris Sproul, says it's an older style of mining, but still very important.
It imitates a mining scenario where, like when we drill holes underground, we try to line them up for blasting reasons. So that's the professional section of it. And then the novice and dignitary is just anybody who wants to come up and see what it's like to hold the drill and how loud it is and how much it vibrates and stuff like that.
And not only does this exhibition benefit the companies showcasing their products, but Canadian TradeX president Glenn Dreadhart says it's very beneficial for Thunder Bay, with many hotels, rental vehicles, and more fully booked for the event, as well as the chance for out-of-town manufacturers to open up in the city.
If the connections are made, first thing they're going to do is open up a warehouse. The second thing they're going to do is open up a manufacturing facility, and it just keeps rolling on from there. So long-term economics is there. Short-term economics benefits is there.
And we spoke to some people taking part in the exhibition as either a business or passerby, and all of them said making connections was key.
Oh, networking. Yeah, I'm meeting people that and finding out about businesses that I'd never heard of before that can use my services.
Got to meet a lot of contacts here that I didn't know it exists because I'm from Saskatchewan, so new to this territory, and wanted to see what businesses are here, and this place has it all.
Like ourselves, we're suppliers into the mining industry, so we get to meet with our customers, vendors, and do a lot of networking and have a good time while we're doing it. So we really enjoy this conference.
And if you missed out on the exhibition today, there's always time to come tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. to try everything the event has to offer, including this ring toss, which I don't think I'm very good at. Maybe I can get one. No, maybe you can do better than me, because I'm definitely not very good. Mitchell Ringos, TVT News.
Mitch always has a lot of fun out on assignment. Well, members of the Ontario Legislature paid tribute to the Queen today. Premier Doug Ford rose in the House to offer condolences over her death on behalf of all Ontarians.
For many people, myself included, we have never lived in a world without Queen Elizabeth. And so it is a truly solemn occasion that we now find ourselves saying goodbye to her after so long. On behalf of all Ontarians, I want to send our deepest condolences to her family, to the people of the United Kingdom, and to the millions of people around the world who've loved and admired her so much.
The government and many opposition members then stood in silence to honor the Queen.
Starting next week, Ontario hospital patients awaiting spots in long-term care can be moved to nursing homes without a choice.
The bottom line is acute care hospital beds need to be for acute care patients.
Patients in southern Ontario can be moved up to 70 kilometres away, while those here in northern Ontario may be moved up to 150 kilometres away. Anyone who refuses will be charged $400 a day, starting in November. The province says there are about 6,000 people in hospital who should be discharged. Of those, 2,000 are on a waiting list for a long-term care home.
1 week into a, quote, social assistance diet, the NDP's Lise Vaugeois says she's hungry. The Thunder Bay Superior North MPP has been eating on less than $50 a week to draw attention to the struggles faced by those who rely on programs like disability support and Ontario Works to survive.
That's $733 a month. That's supposed to cover everything: housing, food, clothing. It's not possible.
Vaugeois, alongside 4 of her NDP colleagues, has limited her grocery spending to $95.21 for a 2-week period, roughly the budget of an average disability support recipient would have left over for food in that time period. At the halfway mark, she's noticeably shaky.
I've tried to stay as close as possible to the diet, the way I was eating before, and I'm finding that I'm pretty much running out of money. I can't stick to this budget and eat in a way that is healthy for me. And that is also what we wanted to find out, right? Can you eat reasonably well on this amount of money? And the answer, in my view, is no.
Vaugeois notes that as an MPP, she'll be able to go back to her regular diet soon, while people on OW and ODSP and their children have to live like this every day.
An artist from northwestern Ontario will see his work sold in stores across the country. Giant Tiger announced the sales launch today of orange shirts featuring Patrick Hunter's design in the lead up to Truth and Reconciliation Day. All proceeds from the shirt sales will go to a charity called Inspire. Hunter is a two-spirit Ojibwe artist and graphic designer originally from Red Lake. His artwork, first designed for an Inspired conference in 2020, is influenced by woodland style and features details representing the traditional territories of Indigenous peoples across the country. He hopes this collaboration with Giant Tiger will help get the shirt into more communities nationwide.
I think it's a great opportunity for folks in smaller communities to also kind of wear a shirt in solidarity with residential school survivors, showing their support in just that, recognizing that trauma had happened to them at a very young age. And, we're collectively as Canadians hoping that they kind of get through it.
Hunter also appreciates that the funds raised will go towards supporting next generation of Indigenous youth. Inspired is an educational charity that works to increase graduation rates for Indigenous students. The shirts are available now in Giant Tiger stores across the country.
The new Centennial Park Playground celebrated its official opening yesterday evening with a ribbon cutting and some sweet treats for kids and families. And city officials have also announced that the new Boulevard Lake Playground will be opening to the public next week. Jessica Clement has the story.
3, 2, 1, go!
The grand opening saw about 100 kids and their parents enjoying everything about the new Woodland Adventure Play area at Centennial. The celebration started out with a smudging of the whole area, followed by a ribbon cutting and Persians for everyone. The $700,000 playground has been open for over a week now, and Werner Schwar, supervisor of Parks and Open Spaces, says the response has been positive from kids and parents.
Most kids you talk to today, they've come a few times already, and I think that's good indication itself, right? I know everything that's new is very popular, but if people come back 2 and 3 times already in the first week, then I think that's a good sign.
The playground is located between the chalet and farm amongst the existing forest landscape and respects the nostalgia of the previous playground by being created almost entirely out of wood. Al Joseph, the city's acting manager of Indigenous Relations, says the wooden structures encourage a connection with the land.
If we can create people who like to be in nature, who have that connection to nature now, then down the road we have people who are willing to protect the planet when it needs to be protected. And we need those people who are going to be there to protect the land for future generations.
Many of the kids at the grand opening hadn't seen the new playground yet, and they were all excited to be trying out the new equipment and exploring various attractions. We asked some kids what their favorite part of the playground was.
Probably like the zip line and the slide.
The zip line.
The zip line?
Yeah. The zip line. Everything.
Everything?
Yeah. That's so fun at this park.
Meanwhile, another anticipated play area will be removing their fence soon. The new Boulevard playground will be open next week, and Schwartz says they intentionally designed it differently than the one at Centennial Park.
So this is very natural, encourages adventure, less structured, where Boulevard will become a really inclusive, fully accessible playground that will have things for all ages and abilities to do and interact together. I think the two being so close together will complement themselves well.
Jessica Clement, TBT News.
The first in-person Terry Fox run since 2019 will be taking place across Canada this weekend, including right here in Thunder Bay. Hundreds of thousands of Canadians nationwide are expected to take part and raise money for cancer research. Local participants will gather at Boulevard Lake at 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon to walk, run, or cycle in honor of the man who pushed himself to the limit for 143 days to raise money and awareness for cancer research. Terry Fox's legacy continues to inspire to this day, raising over $800 million over the past 42 years. The longtime chair of the Thunder Bay Run, Don Morrison, says he's hoping to see a few hundred people come out to the event, which will go ahead, rain or shine.
A lot depends on the weather. The forecast right now doesn't look that good. But as I always tell people, Terry ran a marathon, 42 kilometers a day for 143 days. I can assure you he ran through rain, snow, ice, and everything. So even if it's a little damp on Sunday, people should still come out and do their walk run.
Morrison says he will have a limited supply of the new Terry Fox t-shirts on hand Sunday for $25 cash. People can also get them online at terryfox.org, with all proceeds supporting cancer research in Canada.
What a great event that is. And Fiona, between the Terry Fox run, there's also Wake the Giant this weekend. Should people be planning for some less than ideal conditions?
That would probably be your safest bet, unfortunately. We've got a system moving through that's going to keep people guessing. It's certainly challenging meteorologists to track its progress. It hasn't arrived yet, though. That's the good news. We had a fair amount of sunshine to start, although increasing cloud in the afternoon. A low of just 2 Celsius, a high of 16, which is only a couple degrees off from the norm for this time of year. Winds very light from the southeast, 4 to 15 kilometers per hour. To the west, Fort Frances still enjoying sunshine and very seasonal temperatures at 17. Atikokan and Upsala also at seasonal values. A little bit cooler as you start to inch your way up a little further north into Kenora at 16, 15 in Dryden. Red Lake has seen rain for the last few hours. They're at 15 Celsius, 16 in Sioux Lookout, 14 in Pickle Lake and Armstrong. And as we head eastward to Greenstone, they too have a fair amount of cloud cover, but so far not really much rainfall at all. They're currently at 12, 14 in Marathon and Sault Ste. Marie, nice 17 under partly sunny skies. Now, here in the city of Thunder Bay, you've probably heard there is a very strong potential for a whole lot of rain. There is a rainfall warning in effect that has been placed on Thunder Bay and areas west to the Manitoba border. And in the city of Thunder Bay, we are looking at a low of 8 and rainfall moving in the overnight hours, sometime most likely between midnight and the morning when you get up. And after that, well, it could be a deluge. And I'll have more details on the amounts that are potentially predicted later on in the news hour.
It's not the news we wanted to hear.
No.
Thanks, I guess, Fiona. Well, Queen Elizabeth is now lying in state in London. Her casket will be there for 4 days until her funeral on Monday. We'll have all the details as your news hour continues.
Hundreds of thousands stood silently lining the Mall, here to watch the solemn military procession.